I think we should pivot over to the NBA. The Cavs.
Yeah, I'd prefer to start talking about the Cavs.
Yeah, let's talk about the Cavs. I don't have the current score in front of me, but winners of 12 straight, while the Browns are losers of 12 straight. That's the current situation there with the Cavaliers. What are you seeing from the team right now?
They look great. And don't forget, we don't have Isaiah Thomas. They don't have Tristan Thompson. And they really don't have Shumpert, although I'm not a big fan of Shumpert and Rose, so I can't say they'd be better with them.
What about Derrick Rose? I heard he just apologized to the team. He's taken some time away. What is the latest in that scenario? That is a soap opera.
I mean, I think he knows the talent isn't there anymore. I think the reason he came back is because of the contract, the Adidas contract.
Oh, so like he's kind of mailing it in. He doesn't want to keep pushing for it, but it'd be dumb to not do it. Well, then if that's the case, I don't know what we're supposed to do with Derrick Rose. Do we cut him? Do we keep him? Do we reduce his role? I mean, at this stage, are you going to get somebody better to fill in that roster spot? You know, that's the question I don't know.
I just don't know what, honestly, I'd be willing to just cut Rose, but at this point, I just don't think they're going to.
Yeah, I don't know how we get better.
I think you could see him involved in a mid-season trade.
Maybe.
I think that's where you'll see Rose.
But wasn't he playing decent before he got hurt? He was showing signs at least. He didn't look totally useless. I don't know.
He was very bad. He was bad defensively. The offense wasn't flowing through him. Look at Wade running the backup point. How much better they are with Wade.
Well, Wade
running the backup point. They haven't lost.
Yeah, I think we found a good rhythm there. I wonder
they're
what's
winning
going
with
to happen with
Calderon as the
Isaiah.
starting point guard over Derrick Rose. They're that much better without Derrick Rose in the lineup than they were with him. And just wait till Thomas comes back healthy. And again, this is another thing I know you want to discuss. Let's take a look at a Tristan Thompson potential trade too.
Yes.
What do you trade? Do you trade Thompson for DeAndre Jordan? You trade Thompson another piece for DeAndre Jordan to make the salaries work? Does that boost the Cavs above Golden State now? I don't know. I think it makes it very close. Adding a piece like Marc Gasol, for Tristan Thompson and for some other pieces, yeah, I'd be very inclined to do that one without having to give up the Nets first-round pick. I think it gives you a lot of flexibility, spaces the floor real well. That'd be something I would do. I would complete in a second. I know he's a little bit older. However, I think the Cavaliers would just be lethal.
Yeah, I think it would be definitely different to have a player like Marc Gasol. Who would you compare his game to? Would it be Minnesota Kevin Love?
Marc Gasol, he's just, I don't really know if it's comparable, but I love Marc Gasol. I think he's a great player. He's a better version of his brother.
Well, if there's one thing the Cavs are not worried about, it's about bringing in the veteran talent. That's the one place. This is becoming the place where you go to try to compete against the Warriors to bring a title in. I think people got a little too hyped on the Celtics too quick. We'll see how that shakes out, but I think we're in really good position with it. Marc Gasol would be a very interesting piece. I don't know if they would pull it. I wanted to ask about pull the trigger on that trade is what I meant to say. What do you think about the Nets pick right now? We're a fourth of the way.
The Nets have the ninth worst record in the league, but it's all separated by like a game. They could easily have the third worst record in the league or fourth worst right now.
So do you feel better or not as good about that pick than when?
No, I still feel good about the pick. The draft is extremely talented this year. I don't want to get into talking about the draft yet because we don't have time for that tonight, right. Like getting into evaluating all the players. However, I think this draft is extremely talented, and I think the Cavaliers can get great value with it. And, especially if that pick is the number 1 or number 2 overall pick or top 3, it would put them in fantastic shape moving forward, because hypothetically, let's say you do beat the Warriors this year, and getting Marc Gasol and you do have a top, let's say you do have a top 3 pick, that's someone that you can groom under LeBron and helps LeBron ease into the future. I think with the way the Cavs are playing right now, you take a serious look. And go and look at the Lakers right now. The Lakers are a hot mess. You've got LeVar Ball won't shut the fuck up. and he won't shut up, and he's driving the coaches nuts. He's driving the front office nuts. If I'm LA and if I'm Pelinka and Magic Johnson, I'd think about trading Lonzo Ball at this point. I'm not joking. Dealing with LeVar Ball, he's a pain in the ass. I know in a front office, I would not want to deal with someone like that. I'd either say, listen, get out of here, shut your mouth, or we're going to go and trade your son. Seriously.
Yeah, I think that's kind of weird, though.
I can't stand him. If I were working in a front office and I had to deal with that every day of the week, with him insulting my coaching staff and everything, I would, he's going to cost, if he just shut his mouth and let Luke Walton do his job. Luke's a very good coach. And here's the thing, they could bring in a lot of talent in free agency, but right now, what are you looking at is the problem is, if I'm LeBron, I don't want to sit there and deal with Lonzo Ball talking every day. He's a pain in the ass.
But that was the case. Everybody knew that going in. I warned about it. I knew it was going to be a train wreck. I still think Kyrie is going to go selfish me ball, and he's going to butt heads with Brad Stevens and with the Celtics.
I don't see that happening because it hasn't happened yet, and they're playing better. They're playing great right now. I just don't see that happening, Brian.
But that's what I'm saying. I think the gist of our conversation, Zach, is I'm taking a step back and I'm playing the long game here. I'm saying, yes, the Browns are historically terrible now, but I think it's in the long game. If we don't blow up the system and see it through, something good is going to happen with it. Kind of like here, just playing the long game with it. I think in time, players are going to show who they are, and I think we saw enough weirdness and brooding and not playing defense and all that weird stuff out of Kyrie. I think it's going to come back. I think if you've been that way before, it's likely you're going to be that way again. Yes, it's been easy so far. So he's played well, but I don't know. I still see it happening, and that's why I'm just so surprised with the Lakers and Ball, because we all saw that this was going to happen. We all knew that this was going to happen.
This is real bad. This is worse than I think anybody imagined with LeVar just not shutting up. And the thing is, it's, Lonzo's struggling. It's clear he just, this is the one thing we talked about anyway on the show. During the draft, we said, I said Lonzo Ball could be like a Jason Kidd type. I don't believe in his shot, and it's the thing is, he's a terrible shooter. His shot's horrendous. It's so bad. And that was the one thing I didn't like Lonzo's release point. I thought his shot needed a lot of work. And the problem is do the Lakers have the ability to even work with Lonzo on his shot because of LeVar? I thought they could change it. I don't think they saw it as a problem, but his slow release and his awkward low release, causes a lot of shots just not to go in. His shot just is ugly.
Right.
And, but like I said, he's such a great playmaker, and the league hasn't seen a passer like him. He reminds me a lot of Jason Kidd, and let's not forget, Jason Kidd was always a bad shooter.
Yeah, I've seen the Jason Kidd comparison, but
Jason Kidd, he reminds me a lot of Jason Kidd, but is Jason Kidd going to be the number one player on a championship team? No. Especially in this day and age, point guards are all putting up 20-something points a game.
Right.
Look at all the top-tier point guards. You've got Kyrie Irving, John Wall. Isaiah Thomas, these guys score a lot, and it's just, this is not the guy Lonzo Ball is. I just don't believe in Lonzo as a key piece in there, and I think they gave up too early on Julius Randle. They're giving up too early on him. I just think the Lakers. I just think the Lakers made a lot of, really rash decisions trying to get, and here's the thing, if they don't land LeBron and Paul George this summer and they land, something else that's just not anywhere even comparable, it's another failed offseason, a failed draft, failed everything for the Lakers, because they're looking at another top 3 to top 5 pick that they don't have this year.
Hey, let me ask you a question about the Ball thing, because I don't know if we talked since the UCLA thing, since he left. What do you make about the rest of that family, about the UCLA program, with all the kids coming up and trying to, do the same thing, go through college and get into the NBA? How do you see this all shaking out? Do you like how UCLA did they ask him to leave the team, or did they choose to leave?
I think what happened was, I haven't been asking for insight because I just don't care. Normally, if I really cared, I would ask and I could find out. But my impression is, from what my understanding is, that UCLA is going to keep these kids suspended indefinitely. They committed a crime overseas. They didn't steal from one store. They stole from 3 stores.
It wasn't one quick
if LeVar would have just, LeVar got himself into hot water again, speaking up against the president, doing something stupid. You don't have to like the president. However, I'm not the biggest Donald Trump fan. If Donald Trump did a huge favor to me, though, and did something for me, I'd at least say thank you. I don't care what president is. If I didn't like Obama or if I didn't like Trump, they did something nice for me. They helped me out, getting me out of a jam in a foreign country. I'd be on my knees kissing their toes.
And Trump is so thin-skinned, he really does want that.
Yeah.
And,
that's the thing. I mean, if I went and did something stupid in a foreign country, and put myself in a position that I shouldn't have been in, and the president, like him or not, whether I voted for him or not, did a nice thing, just deal with it. They would have probably gotten home anyway. However, it got them home sooner than they would have. Yeah. Yeah. That's the thing. And they should be very grateful for that opportunity. I'm not saying, and I think Donald Trump handled it like a child. He handled the whole situation like a child. We already know LeVar Ball was trying to generate heat from Trump. That's exactly what he wanted, and Trump gave into it.
Hold on. Now let me put it out there maybe as an alternative theory. Trump is the ultimate Twitter troll. He's the ultimate troll of all time. By him poking the bee's nest with the Colin Kaepernick situation, he knew what was going to happen. He knew how the reaction was going to be and how over the top it was going to be. And I think Trump knew what Lonzo Ball or what LeVar Ball was going to do, how he was going to act. So he baited him into saying, I wonder if they're going to say thank you, expecting them to refuse to do that and in turn looking like idiots in the process. He's the ultimate troll. There are certain people you should just never argue with. There are some people that you should just go, look, I'm not going to get into this back and forth tug of war because you were so manipulative and so tricky. And so,
Trump's like the douche on the playground that always won, always got his way. Trump is Biff Tannen.
I've seen that. That is kind of
funny. He's Biff Tannen. Everything about him. Go watch Back to the Future 2. He is Biff Tannen.
Well, then
everything about Trump is Biff.
Then who is LeVar Ball in this? If we're going to equate him to a character from a movie or a TV show, who is LeVar Ball? Who's the biggest loudmouth?
He's like Dave Chappelle from Blue Streak.
Oh, that's pretty good. I don't know. I agree.
Yeah, LeBron with the step back 3.
Dwyane Wade assists. Cavs 100-95. Attaboy.
Wow. Now I wish I wouldn't have given away the tickets for tonight.
Darn it.
Section 7 tonight. 3 rows off the floor. 3rd row floor tonight. You know what? It's better that went to the client. It should have been generating business. So
that's awesome. What do you make of LeBron James? Is he having his best season ever in year 15?
I mean, Brian, if you're watching the game right now, just look at that play. Look at this team right now. They're clicking on all cylinders without Isaiah Thomas and without Tristan. That's all you need to know. Yes, he is the MVP hands down of the season right now. I've got Harden too. Kyrie Irving's up there. But again, Irving doesn't have the stats to back it up. I mean, Tatum's been so good. Jaylen Brown's been so good. And the thing is, Jason Tatum, through that Brad Stevens system, has been so much better than he would have been with any other team.
Why is that?
Because I think Brad Stevens' system is just that good.
Okay.
I think his system is just that good. I believe he's that good of a coach. I mean, I think Tatum's just clicking that offense. And you know what? The Gordon Hayward might be a blessing in disguise for them. And I'm just saying for the long term, as long as he returns back to full health, because Tatum has really gotten to show what he can do in that, in that system. He's a key piece.
Whereas if he didn't have the playing time and the minutes he may not have developed this way, and he may have kind of like how James Harden never really got his shot. Like he was. I don't know who would you compare that to? What other player came back and kind of stepped onto the scene and was able to fully emerge into like a very talented player because of an injury? Who's the last time you can think of?
I mean, you could see it with the Hawks with Dennis Schrader.
Okay.
You watch it all the time, guys stepping into roles and becoming, I'm trying to think. I don't know why I'm blanking on this, but you look at a guy early in his career like Jade.
It's an interesting question because if someone was that good, why weren't they starting in the first place? There are guys like, look at a guy like Jimmy Butler. Why was Jimmy drafted so low? And, when he got his opportunity to start, he was amazing. Right.
When Derrick Rose went down with his injuries, when you really saw the emergence of Jimmy Butler, and you're like, wow, where did this kid come from?
Okay. All right, there's another good one.
I think Jimmy Butler's a perfect example.
Then let's make that our question of the day for anybody watching this segment. If you can think of some other players that really got a chance to step up and shine based on an injury and kind of developed an ongoing, consistent, all-star caliber career in the NBA, leave it in the comments section. I'd love to kind of rethink some of that because, right off the top of my head, you can say you can switch sports and think about Tom Brady when he filled in for Drew Bledsoe back in the day. That was.
There are always Steve Young and Joe Montana.
Yeah, that's a good one.
You witness it all the time in sports. An injury gives a guy an opportunity, or it takes a trade for sometimes a guy to get noticed, and you go from there. It's just what happens. Happens all the time.
All right. Well, then, what else do you have to say about the rest of the NBA right now? Are there any other teams, any rookie performances, any potential trades, any firings?
I think the Sixers are a team that's really up and coming.
Would you address the LeBron to Philadelphia rumors?
Yeah, I don't think it's going anywhere right now. LeBron, the Cavaliers have won 13 in a row in Cleveland, and again, they've got a top 5 pick in the draft, top 10 pick in the draft. Which is a very movable piece. I'm pretty sure the Cavaliers are going to be all right. As long as they keep playing like this and LeBron keeps playing this well, they're not going down anytime soon. They'll eventually lose a game, but, I just think this team is very, very well built. Like I said, we struggled in the first couple weeks. I said, have your faith in Kobe Altman. I think he did a great job constructing this roster. I really said a guy like Jeff Green was a really nice under-the-radar signing. Said, don't forget this is a guy who made $16 million last year. Was just put in a bad position where all players go to die in Orlando. Essentially, kind of like the Cleveland Browns of the NBA, or really the Sacramento Kings are the Cleveland Browns of the NBA. And you look at it and you say to yourself, okay, look how much better Jeff Green's been. Look at, in Dwyane Wade, it's really cohesive unit, and Dwyane Wade has really just been, the catalyst on that team, and he's just made everybody else so much better.
Right.
And you look at guys like Korver. The Cavaliers have the best bench in the NBA.
And that was our biggest liability last year. I felt like Kyle Korver was another guy. He was thrown into it. He had never played that way in his life. He had moments, but he couldn't keep it consistent. I was just going, give him an off season to figure out how to play with this team. He's gonna get. I'm very happy with what Kyle Korver's doing.
The Cavaliers are only going to be getting better, and don't forget they will either move their pick or the Brooklyn pick at some point this season at the trade deadline. Don't forget there will be significant buyout candidates like they sign every year. I don't know who the buyout candidates are going to be yet, so we're still way too far away from discussing that. But there will be significant buyout candidates in the market that will want to come play with LeBron.
Yeah.
That realize the Cavaliers are a championship contender. Like I said, Kobe Altman is not done constructing this roster. He's done an excellent job. As a rookie GM, there's a decent chance he could win Executive of the Year award.
Oh, wow.
It's either going, at this point, he's either going to win it or Danny Ainge is going to win it. Or, Brian Colangelo is going to win it. I think it should go to Danny Ainge or to, or to Kobe at this point. With the way these two teams are playing.
Yeah, and it's so interesting because when do you think Isaiah Thomas comes back? Because we don't even get to see all of our pieces.
I think you'll see Thomas back before Christmas at this point.
Before Christmas? I was here in February.
No, I think you'll see him. I don't know if they want to have him play the Warriors game just for exposure. So I don't know if he'll play Christmas Day. He's either going to come back right before Christmas or right after Christmas.
Or maybe
he'll be back before January. Mark my words on that one.
Or maybe
he's ready to go.
And they're just being extra cautious. Is he back to?
They're being extra cautious with Tristan. He's been playing 4-on-4 in practice. Yes, he's fully back right now, playing on 4-on-4 drills, 5-on-5 drills with the Cavs in practice. He's fully back. They're just easing him into it right now to get him the flow.
Yeah,
trust me. There is no reason to speed him up. They've won 13 in a row now without him playing. There's no reason. It's not like the Cavaliers are sitting there at 7-18. And they're the worst team in the league, like we all thought they were going to be. like they thought they were playing the first 2 weeks of the season when they were 5-7.
Yeah, that was a crappy week. Yeah, that was a rough start.
If I would have told you the Cavaliers are going to win 13 in a row after looking like that, what would you have told me? So I'm a little crazy.
Nothing surprises me about the Cavaliers anymore, though, especially with a LeBron James team. Nothing surprises me. Okay, so then Isaiah Thomas. I've been seeing the same videos you've been seeing. He's practicing. You expect him back before Christmas or around Christmas. We'll see how it goes. Around Christmas. Tristan maybe trade bait. We'll see how it goes. Derrick Rose may be coming back, and we'll see if he's got anything left in the tank. And like you said, Kobe's not done moving some pieces. We'll see how it goes. I think Shumpert, JR. There's a bunch of different maneuvers that could be made. What do you make? Final question. I'll leave it with this. What do you make of Kevin Love in this latest season minus Kyrie Irving? How do you feel? I
think he's been great. I think he's been much better without Irving. I mean, do the Cavaliers even look like they miss Kyrie Irving?
No. Winning 13 in a row is great.
I don't think they really miss Kyrie. I think LeBron's better without Kyrie, and I think it's just showing.
And it's so weird because I felt like LeBron was very passive to Kyrie. He was very accommodating to the point where his own game suffered, his own statistics suffered. And
I think that was he was trying to just defer too much to Kyrie all the time.
Well, that's what he did with Dwyane Wade in the beginning.
I think he was trying to defer too much.
Well, remember that's how he was with Dwyane Wade the first year. I don't know. Does it make it any? Sorry, one more question. Does it make it any weirder, or with having some more perspective? Does Kyrie's trade request make any more sense now, or less sense, or just whatever?
It makes sense. I mean, I don't like it, but I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah, I kind of have a hard time watching Kyrie or hearing Kyrie's name. I feel like a spurned lover. I feel like a rejected, partner in a relationship or something. I don't like thinking about him. Who knows? We might end up playing him in the Eastern Conference Finals. But, it's just amazing to think that this team that's playing this well and LeBron James, perhaps on another MVP season, is still missing Isaiah Thomas. I'm looking forward to what happens when that comes back, and very happy to see Dwyane Wade pretty much settling in the way that he has as well. That's something we don't even talk about it as much because there's so much else going on, but that's the bench. That's that second squad that's going to keep you in the games and extend leads instead of the exact opposite that we saw in the finals last year. So I guess on our way out the door, do you have any final thoughts on the wildfires in California? Any other issue in the news?
I just hope everybody's safe. I hope nothing, from this point here on gets totally destroyed. I mean, more than it has.
Yeah.
It's very, very sad to see, and I hope everything's okay with everyone, and I hope everybody evacuates. I really hope everybody's okay. I know that not everybody will be, but it's very sad to see a city I used to live in such a pretty area of the city too. I mean, that's an area that was affected by wildfires around that area in the Sepulveda Pass in, the year 2000. That got affected badly, and it causes mudslides after that. I mean, that's a beautiful area down by the Getty Center in Bel Air, right by the 405. That's, I was talking with my dad about it today, and it's just like, it's burning just north of UCLA. I mean, and just west. It's terrible.
Yeah.
I know the area. I used to drive it almost every day.
Right. Yeah, the pass. It's so weird. I've been wondering.
It's one of the prettiest areas of Los Angeles. You don't feel, when you're driving down there on Sepulveda and stuff, it's the area that really takes you into Brentwood and everything. Just, off Sunset, it's just a beautiful area, one of the prettiest areas of Los Angeles, with all the trees and the hills. It's just really, really sad to see.
Yeah, and I just wonder why they haven't been able to put some sort of inflatable fire break full of water.
I tend to think it was someone. I think someone for sure started the fire.
Some sort of intentional act.
Yeah, some idiot smoking up there, doing something, or intentionally lighting it. It just, it's very unfortunate to see all that, go down. It's a really pretty area, and it's almost impossible to rebuild it. When it, to rebuild, to plant all those trees and stuff. That's natural. There's a lot of animals up there. That's where there's mountain lions up there. There's deer. All the animals you see in Cleveland that are here that you don't necessarily see on the floor of LA down in West Hollywood. You see up in the hills. I used to see deer driving a Mulholland Drive every day on my way to work or on my way back to my house. I used to see deer every day. Up in the hills. See raccoons. See those animals up there. And you see all these animals that have just lost, their homes and everything, with all those acres burning. It's very sad to see.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of, the last natural wildlife in LA is sitting up there living in those hills. Seriously, when you think about it, the last natural wildlife in LA is all up there in those hills. And it's very sad to see it go.
Yeah. And so, I was out. I went to a Kings game with my friend Tom last night. Got a Kings hat, by the way. I've decided I'm going to be an LA Kings fan, and I'm also going to try to be a Columbus Blue Jacket fan. I'm trying to get into the hockey thing. I never had a Cleveland team to root for, so I figured I'll try it. But yeah,
the time to become a Kings fan would have been 5 years ago when they won the Stanley Cup.
Hey, we're in first place today. Might be this year too. You never know. But yeah, he was saying that his house, it's right up there, and wondering, is there going to be an evacuation notice? And he just kind of told me, he's like, well, there's only so much you can control in this world. At some point, you throw up your hands and go, all right, well, if it happens, it happens. What else can I do at this point? So, I guess
there's nothing you can do. It's very sad, and hopefully they're able to put it out. You got to give credit to the firefighter, the first responders and the firefighters. Going out there to fight this in 70-mile-an-hour winds. It's very unfortunate, and it'd be nice to It's just so dry. Normally this time of year, it rains out in December. Just imagine if they had last year's weather. You wouldn't have to worry about this right now. It's not supposed to rain there. I checked the forecast for the next 2 weeks. It's not even getting close to raining. And this is the rainy time of year in LA.
Yeah, it was completely wet last year everywhere, and it's been very dry this year. It's pretty strange.
And now you guys would kill for those torrential rainstorms like you guys had a year ago to put this out.
I know. It's so weird. It's feast or famine sometimes. Yeah, but I guess it's just a good reminder for everybody, whether it's a hurricane, a blizzard, a wildfire, mudslides, anything you could imagine. It's always good to have an evacuation plan in place, a bug-out plan, bug-out bag, supplies.
Even the houses that aren't destroyed in this fire are now all susceptible to mudslides. People don't understand how mudslides work. Mudslides happen during the rainy season of the year in winter in California. The thing holding in all the mud when it's wet are the tree roots and the plants. That's what holds in all the mud. And when you don't have the tree roots or the plants anymore, suddenly there's nothing to hold the mud in a bad rainstorm, and that's what causes the mudslides. So if you look at it, the mudslides that have affected that area in the past, over in the Sepulveda Pass, just on the eastern side of the freeway, which happened in the year 2000, closer to Sherman Oaks, that happened in the year 2000, and that area has been susceptible to mudslides for years because of it, because they haven't been able to regrow all the vegetation that they lost.
Yeah, one thing after the other. It's a great opportunity. I went down to New Orleans for Thanksgiving and took a tour of the Katrina damage and saw the Superdome and hearing all the stories. And this happened in 2005, 12 years ago, Hurricane Katrina, and you can go through the city and still see damage everywhere.
New Orleans lost a large chunk of its population to Houston.
Yeah, they did. They lost about 100,000 people, I think. I think that was the number, about 20%.
Yeah. They lost a large part of their population to Houston, and it was really sad when it happened. And then you see what happened in Houston. We are, especially with everything nowadays, we are prone, these cities are still prone, even with technology, to natural disaster.
Of course.
That's one of the great benefits of living in Cleveland. There's nothing other than a bad blizzard that can do anything. And a bad blizzard's not going to last 2 weeks.
Yeah, the blizzard is one thing. Definitely the power outage. I think that started in Ohio or Cleveland back in the day. But, anyway, it's just a good time to review your strategy, your package, your food and water supplies, an extra month of medicine, and maybe practice an evacuation route, especially if you're in an area prone to wildfires from time to time. So, anyway, I agree. Thoughts and prayers to all of those people.
Stay safe. If you're back for Christmas, Brian, let me know. It'd be great to hang out with you.
Indeed. I will let you know. I'll be back at some point, and if the damn Browns have to have a perfect season parade, I told McNeil, who you should follow on Twitter.
I'm going to Miami on January 6th for a conference, and I'm pissed.
Oh, that's the day.
Because if I don't get to be here for that parade.
Oh, what a sight that's going to be, by the way. Yeah, but
right.
I told him I was going to go.
If I do somehow rearrange my trip, I do have to go down there for that conference. Mm-hmm. But if I somehow am able to rearrange my trip, I will be having a parade party at my place.
Parade party. All right, well, look.
Just like the Cavs won in 16, and we'll be having an 18 in June again.
All right. Well, then we'll pencil that in. We'll see how that shakes out. Hopefully, look, I think the Browns are going to win a game. I think Josh Gordon's going to be the catalyst, the difference maker. I think one of these, I think they're going to win this week against Green Bay.
I think they'll beat the Bears as their one win if they're going to win a game. This is a winnable game, but they'll find a way to lose it. You know it.
All right.
Well, Brian, it was great speaking with you. I'm going to get rolling now and go finally eat some dinner.
All right. Thank you for your time as usual.
Take care.
If you're not following Zach on Twitter, he's at ZBaris. That's ZBARIS. And we'll talk to you again soon. Thanks, guys.